Jarek, any ideas on how you would try an intro?
Um, no. Wait, is this the intro?
Yeah, yeah, it is
Oh, okay.
actually.
Oh, okay.
Good job.
I guess like this then. This works.
I mean, it kind of has to because you blew it.
Yep.
You done
You're
blown it.
welcome.
So hypothetically, if that was the 2 minute intro that we wasted,
Mhm.
um, we should probably start off on some news. If you guys want to do news, I don't know. Uh,
Well, I'd like to talk about the more interesting bit that we have, in my opinion, about Castlevania. Robert Belgrade, who voiced Alucard in Castlevania Symphony of the Night, is going to be playing in Castlevania the Lacard Chronicles. Is that 2? Is that Lacard?
I think it's
I
the
don't
card.
know.
I don't know. It's close enough.
It's a fan-made Castlevania game, and uh, Konami is completely cool with it as long as they make it free to play, because they just make fucking pachinko machines now anyway, so who
hmm
cares? Uh,
Imagine all of the pachinko machines they will make when this company, the fan-based developers, reinvigorate their franchise for them.
Bonus points if this fan-made company hires Hideo Kojima.
That'd be fantastic. But he's busy working on another game.
Yeah, I know. I mean, depending on how rich these kids are, they could, like, buy out Death Stranding and be like, alright, Hideo, just do your thing. We won't bother you ever. We also won't ban you from video game award shows. So,
Yeah.
and then Hideo will be sold.
But yeah, I'm pretty interested in how this turns out. I
Yep.
love Symphony of the Night, and I was looking at some gameplay and screenshots, things like that. It looks pretty good. You're a knight that's exploring the countryside of 18th century France, trying to find the source of all the monsters that are in the area. And on top of
Does it look
Robert,
like
what?
Castlevania?
It does. It really does.
All
Um,
right.
it's pretty nice. And on top
2D
of
side scroller, I'm guessing.
yeah. On top of
Yes.
Robert Belgrade, they also got Douglas Rye, who played Dracula in Portrait of Ruin and Curse of Darkness. Um, no
Yeah.
confirmation who he's playing in this one, but he is playing a mysterious antagonist who is
May
definitely
or may not be
probably
Dracula.
not Dracula. Yeah.
I bet Dracula.
I'm
I
pretty interested though.
Yeah, I definitely want this game. It sounds awesome. I love Castlevania. I've loved every 2D Castlevania game I've played. I haven't played any of the 3D ones. Actually, I played the one for the 64, and it was complete garbage. But
Sounds like a 64 game.
Hey, Pokemon
well,
Stadium was fantastic.
you can
And
only
Star
do
Fox
so
64.
much with the world's stupidest controller. All right.
Clearly, you've never used a PlayStation 3 controller.
The
Or 2.
yeah, 64
The
was
same as a
worse.
PlayStation 1 controller. Come on.
Exactly.
Which was the best controller ever until the 360 controller came out.
You mean the Duke?
Yeah, I really like the Duke. I'm not gonna
The
lie.
Duke?
The
Duke was the original
original,
Xbox controller. The
Yeah.
fat
Oh,
one,
God,
before
that
they made it
turd.
small.
the one that was the
Nope.
size of the Xbox console.
hmm
It
You
was
need at,
fantastic.
you
If you
need
threw it at a
at
piece just
least
for it, it'd blow up.
4 shoulder functions for it to be worth a damn. Sorry.
The only problem with that controller were the white and black buttons.
Yep. You need 4 shoulder functions in order to not be a piece of trash. That being said, my friend had a generic controller that had the white and black up top for bumpers
Huh.
before the 360 came around.
Before it was cool.
Yeah, before it was cool. fucking hipster third-party controller companies.
I feel like that would be the greatest thing ever, and I would pay lots of money to have that for the Xbox One.
No, it was shaped completely different. It was terrible.
Oh,
Was a Mad Catz controller?
probably.
Maybe.
Alright.
He said shaped awful and terrible, so of course it was Mad Catz.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually,
Hey,
my
I had to use Mad Catz a lot.
I was the younger
Sorry.
brother, so
Not that
I
I'm
always
defending
used the cheap knockoff controller. My favorite controller of all time, actually. I completely forgot about this. I don't even remember the brand of it. It was a knockoff PS2 controller, and it was silky smooth and it was fantastic. It had almost like a rubberized skin on it, so it wasn't hard plastic. It was soft and like silky and amazing. It was perfect.
And then you covered it in Dorito and Mountain Dew grease.
Yes, and various other fluids, and it was perfect.
Nope,
It was
just
like
Doritos and Mountain Dew.
it was that perfect color of like turquoise that was almost chameleon between like purple and green, and it was like semi-glossy, and it looked beautiful, and it felt amazing, and it was contoured better than the PS2 controller, although it had the same like batarang shape, and it was just the greatest thing ever. And I cannot for
really
the life
want-
of me remember who made it.
I really want an Elite controller, but I can't convince myself to get one because of their price.
Rick can convince you not to.
Yeah, I can. What I was going to say was, with the exception of the color, you basically described how I felt with the League controller. It is the perfect controller with the exception that it breaks fucking ridiculously easy. Super heavy and amazing, has the pedals are perfect, and then you touch the bumper and it explodes.
See, those are features.
Has to be.
Exploding buttons. Very good.
Speaking of exploding stuff, Snowball, did you take the Pottermore thing yet? For Ilvermorny?
I was going to, but then I read the entire history of the school instead, and then I was late for work. So, yeah,
I've not been to Pottermore.
I'm sorry.
It's great,
Not-
but the sorting hat thing is kind of stupid. Like, you can answer the same way every time and get sorted in different houses because they have a ton of different questions, but then they only choose like 10 to 15 of them. So every time you take the quiz, you get different questions, which could lead you getting questions that put you more towards like Slytherin instead of whatever else you would normally go to.
So really, it just randomly assigns you to a house instead of any of the actual
Well,
questions
if
mattering.
there's
the
like
question-
100 questions and you answer all of them, it only picks 4 of the questions or 10 of the questions to actually look at the answers for.
That's basically how it is. Except it doesn't give you all 100 questions, it gives you like 10 of them, completely randomly selected. Like, you can get questions like, do you prefer night or day, or heads or tails? And you can get that for all of your questions, and then answering just a slightly wrong way will get you into Slytherin or Hufflepuff. Or worse, expelled.
This is true.
You can get expelled?
Sure.
I don't know. I think being a Hufflepuff is worse than being expelled.
You might be right.
And we
actually,
just lost everyone who's a Hufflepuff fan. But that's okay, because they were probably
It's fine, we
considering
already lost
killing
Matt.
themselves anyways.
They aren't even real people, so...
Guys, quit talking
That's
about
true.
Matt like that, really?
Is he a Hufflepuff?
Yes.
Poor guy. I took the quiz like 4 or 5 separate times, and all but one time I got Ravenclaw, and the one time I didn't get Ravenclaw was on my main account.
That's the only class that's the only one I'd want to be in is Ravenclaw.
I only took it once and I got Slytherin, which is fine because I am Slytherin, so...
For Ilvermorny, I got Thunderbird, which I have no idea what the fuck that means, but I got it.
I
What?
read the entire history of the fucking school, and I still don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Literally, it says in the lore that they kind of picked the names at random.
Yeah,
And,
basically they picked their favorite animal.
yeah, pretty much.
Okay, then you're Slytherin because you're like a snake.
Hey, shut up.
The fuck is a Hufflepuff?
Badger.
A badger?
Hmm.
Okay, well now I want to be a Hufflepuff.
That
Because
is
of
the first
badgers.
time in the history of ever that anyone has said that.
Hmm. Absolutely.
Anyone sane, at least.
All I
Then
know.
again,
Good.
anyone who actually wants to be a Hufflepuff probably already knew that. If they're into Harry Potter enough to be like, I want to be a Hufflepuff.
Matt's proud of his Hufflepuff heritage, I do believe.
What a freak.
That's gross, and I actually like badgers.
All I know is that, or all I know about Thunderbird is that J.K. Rowling, the person who played Luna Lovegood, and the person who played Cho Chang are all in Thunderbird.
I'll have
Some
to
say.
eventually take the test.
I feel like the only thing worse than being a Hufflepuff is being a Pukwudgie.
The hell is
Like-
that supposed to be?
It's one of the American houses, and
I,
it's like
That's one of the most British sounding houses I've heard. How's that one of the American houses?
it's
it's named after the Pukwudgie.
Oh, of course.
Obviously.
Silly me.
it's a thing that appears in the folklore of the where the fuck's Native
sounds
Americans.
It sounds like an instrument for a British sport.
A Pukwudgie is like... I don't even know. I guess it's like a goblin thing, but mean, and they hate humans. And the founder of the American school, which I still can't pronounce,
The school or the founder?
the school.
Ilvermorny?
Ilvermorny? Sure, we'll go with that.
I'm still saying it sounds like a British piece of sports equipment.
Well, I mean, it's a British name because it's named by wizards, and I guess they all kind of came over from Britain because it's America. So go with it.
No, they're Native American wizards, but they
Are
didn't
they
use
really?
wands. Yeah, they used.
Well, they didn't name it though, did they?
Fuck if I know. I'm pretty sure Pukwudgie is a real thing.
Oh well, fuck if I know. But yeah, in the lore, there's a Pukwudgie that's injured, and the founder doesn't know that they're evil goblins, basically, and because the goblins and that she was used to were nice, so she nursed it back to health, and it was like very upset that a human helped it, but kind of begrudgingly accepted the help and stayed by her side since it owed her its life. And how it became one of the houses is the founding woman's husband was told stories about this thing after it left, and just kind of fell in love with it. And that was literally all it was. Like, hey, remember you told those stories? I like those stories. The entire house is going to be named after me liking that, even though I have no idea.
According to Wikipedia, Pukwudgie is from Wampanoag folklore, which is a Native American people that were based in somewhere.
It sounds very Croatoan.
Rhode Island. They can appear and disappear at will. They can transform into a walking porcupine, apparently. They can attack people and lure them to their deaths. They're able to use magic. They have poison arrows. They can create fire at will. And they can control Tepai Wonkas, which I believe to be the souls of Native Americans that have been killed.
Okay,
Or that they have
sounds
killed.
like
I might have said
That's,
they're 2 to 3 feet tall.
Don't piss them off.
Yeah,
Jesus.
basically. I kind of want to be Pukwudgie now.
The lore for the founding of this school is that basically somebody pissed one off.
Oh. Well, they probably shouldn't have done that.
Yeah.
Fucking Hagrid. Did you look at the other, like, North American wizard lore, or just the school stuff?
I just read the school stuff and then I realized I was late for work.
The North American lore might be even cooler than, like, all of the British lore put together. Like, there was a fucking, like, self-appointed hit squad, basically, that reinforced rules for wizards, but there were no rules, so they just went around fucking shit up. So a task force type thing was formed, or a like governing body, specifically for wizards in, I think, North America, maybe the world, I don't know. But that made the other people mad, and they started a war, which caused the like Salem witch trials to start. And that was like entirely a wizard and witch based thing. And they would just go around hunting wizards and witches. And stuff happened that revealed magic to muggles, which are now called no-mages in North America.
No matches.
They're
Yeah.
called no-mages, but I can't help but wonder if that has any relation to the word nomads.
Has to.
Because
Possibly.
I feel like it could, and that would make sense if they... I don't know. It makes sense in my head.
I will accept them being called no-mages in North America, despite that being a stupid word, solely because that Livermorny has such a better sounding name than Hogwarts.
Well,
Yeah.
the Ilvermorny was named off of the village, I believe, that the founder was born in, that was destroyed. Because the founder was from Europe, and she fled to America to escape, I think, her aunt. I don't know. I was half asleep when I read all this.
I hope they show off the school in America in the new movie. Probably going to be 8-part series like freaking
Basically,
Harry Potter.
Basically, the school is Hogwarts. Like, the founder really wanted to go to Hogwarts, and her aunt wouldn't let her, so she's like, screw you, I'll make my own Hogwarts. Kinda.
Blackjack and hookers.
Yeah. And Pudge
In
Witch-
fact,
Pudge
forget the
Witches.
Hogwarts.
I don't think that the school will be in Fantastic Beasts. It might be. I haven't seen it yet.
I really need to see it.
Me too.
I'm waiting for like a free day where I can.
It released like last week. I really want to watch it. But
Wait, Fantastic Beasts is out?
yeah,
Yeah.
released on Friday.
Heard it here
That's
first,
Friday.
folks.
I didn't even know. I kind of want to see it. I'm not super excited about it or anything. It doesn't look...
I've heard it's good, and that's from
Fantastic or
Harry
anything.
Potter fans.
Mm-hmm.
You've heard that it's good from Harry Potter fans?
Yeah.
Alright, well, I'll have to check it out then.
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page for Fantastic Beasts, and it mentions the governing body. It's the Magical Congress of the United States of America,
Yeah.
abbreviated to MACUSA, which is a really fucking cool sounding name.
Yeah.
I still have no idea what Fantastic Beasts is about.
I think it's the person who wrote Fantastic Beasts, the textbook. It's basically the guy, if I'm not mistaken, and I might be because I'm just kind of making this up. The guy who wrote it was like exploring, trying to find all of the magical beasts and write it. I think I don't fucking know. I think I just made that up.
If that's what it is, that'd be cool. I'm worried that it isn't. It's just some guy hunting beasts that are fantastic.
Yeah.
Like, what would be the point of him hunting them? Because obviously somebody else already had, because they wrote an encyclopedia about it.
They probably escaped into the Nomad world,
Oh,
and
I
he's
hope
getting
not.
them back. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I hope not. Either way, I heard it's good, so
Yeah, as long as it's good. I feel like that's all that matters.
I guess Moving on to news number two. There's a
Yeah.
voice actor strike going on right now. Lots of video game actors are on strike, citing unfair working conditions, and they're also asking for bonus payments for their work done on blockbuster games. So any game that sells over 2 million copies, they basically want royalties. And they're striking against, I think, 11 major game publishers. And actors included in the strike are David Hayter, who played Snake, and Jennifer Hale, who played Femshep.
Or more importantly, Sarah Palmer in Halo.
That too. And apparently, from what I've read, most companies have accepted the changes to the contracts, allowing better working conditions, safer environments, less strenuous recording sessions, and even higher compensation. And the group, the collective of strikers, rejected all those offers because they did not have the residual payment systems, the royalties, which kind of to me proves that it's just about the money. And I think that's kind of silly, but then again, I don't know. I don't see them ever getting royalties for their work.
Yeah. Games tend to be more expensive than movies. So it works more for movies than it does for games.
Well,
Yeah.
how many movies have you seen simply because somebody was in it?
I watched Jurassic World because Chris Pratt was in it.
All right. And how many games have you?
I'm sorry.
How many games have you played simply because somebody was doing a voice in it?
All of them with Nolan North.
Yeah, sounds about right. If I find out Nolan North is doing a voice in something, I'll be like, hey, I need to check that out.
Yeah, I'll either play the game or just find a let's play of it. Or just general playthrough.
All right, but I mean, if he wasn't in it, would that be a deal breaker for you?
It could be.
Like I feel like voice actors.
It's not so much them not being in it being a deal breaker as much as them being in it being a deal maker.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, hey, I don't really have very much interest in this, but because this voice actor is in it, I want to see it. So, bam.
Yeah, like basically the only reason I've even considered playing the new Call of Duty game is because Kit Harington is in it, who played Jon Snow, and the guy who plays Martian Manhunter in Supergirl is also in it.
Okay,
Other than that, I have
see
no
that,
reason
and I can kind of see
I'd
that.
want to play it.
But do you think that means voice actors need to get major salaries and royalties like actors in movies do, who are the front runners of the entire movie?
No,
Because that's what they're
I-
pushing for.
I don't really think that movie actors even deserve it. Really.
yeah. I was kind of thinking that, but maybe not that extremely. Like, yeah, I don't think that. Well, I mean, if it's gonna make a ton of money, and like voice actors aren't getting hardly any of that, from what I understand. I think they deserve probably a bigger chunk than they're getting, but I don't think they deserve as much as they're asking for. But that might be why they're asking for as much as they are, because they know they're gonna reach some middle ground whenever the strike is over.
I feel like
Sure.
there's no middle ground for them. They want royalties.
They'll probably get like some lame ass low percentage of royalties.
I don't think they will. I don't think any company's going to budge on that because, like, why would they deserve the royalties over somebody who put in countless hours, making the models for the game?
Programming. Well, that could be said with modern movies and CGI, though.
See, that is true, and that is actually a very good point. Um,
Except for imagine the movie was nothing but CGI, and there you have it.
Cough, Avatar, cough. Cough, The Last Airbender, cough.
Cough, tons of movies actually. But no, that's a
Cough.
very good point. So
Beowulf.
do you think the people who do the CGI should get royalties for movies?
I think everybody who works on a movie should get royalties, but the company that brought everything together should get the biggest piece. That seems fair to me.
I feel like
Like
you
a
should get paid.
big piece.
I feel like you should get paid for the work you did,
Up
like
front.
time based. Yeah, and then money made after goes to making more movies.
I can agree with that. Um, let
And if
let me make like a comparison here that might put it in perspective to how I feel about it. As a programmer, not that I'm a programmer, but as a programmer, if somebody was a programmer, uh, you you write code on the clock. Whatever
Yeah.
code you write does not belong to you because you're writing it for somebody. So if you write a code that turns into an actual artificial intelligence AI, or you somehow write a code that cures cancer, or develop an AI that learns how to cure cancer, or anything like that, you don't own that code, you don't own that AI, you don't own that cure for cancer because you're writing that code on the clock for a company. You you don't have that right because it's theirs. They own it. You
Yeah.
have the right to get paid to make that for them, but ultimately you're making something for a company who owns that product you're making.
yeah, that makes sense. And with like someone like an actor, you're basically creating that thing. While it's not like creating an AI or anything like that, you're still doing it on the company's time.
Yeah.
I mean, that could still be said about movie actors with their likeness and
Yeah,
acting
exactly.
ability.
I feel like the royalties should go to making more movies, and then if a new movie isn't made in that series after a certain amount of time, the leftover money gets sent back to whoever worked on the movie.
Yeah. I think everybody here's what I think. I think everybody involved in working on the movie should get some even degree of royalties, but definitely most of the money goes back into the company so that they can start work on another one and actually pay their employees as they're working. And then whenever that releases, they'll get whatever royalties from that as well. Just keep the gears spinning.
Yeah.
I don't know if I can agree with that. I I
I
feel
mean, of
like
course, some of it would go into advertising
they should be
and
paid up front at a price they agree upon for their time and be done with it. And I think maybe if you're a high profile, high name voice actor or a high profile, high name artist or, designer or composer or whatever, and your name being on the project creates revenue, then
yeah,
you should be entitled to to have a special contract aside from all of the normal contracts where as a supplement to you getting paid you also get royalties or stock in the company or whatever you want to have, but that should be on a case by case basis. I don't think people should just assume that they are entitled to having future payments made to them just for participating.
Yeah.
it's not just that, but it's if everybody worked on something that was so good that it was just a smash success, everybody involved should have something for that, in my opinion. Like, everybody just killed it. There's maybe like one or two programmers that just either like fixed everything or just made one or two things look awesome as fuck and really made a thing pop out and seem amazing. And that made the game for everyone, not even necessarily just a voice actor, but someone who's programming or made something run smoothly or look smooth or look really realistic. And like nobody gives props to programmers for that shit. It's just voice actors and other things. Like nobody knows the programmers. They're just like, "Oh, this game company made this. They do great stuff." It's not like, "Hey, that programmer worked on that character model. He did really good." Nobody knows who worked on what character model or what bit of programming or what cutscene.
I think part of that has to do with how actors and voice actors generally put themselves out on like social media and stuff and talk about the stuff that they've done, while programmers tend to be more private about that. Programmers and artists. Yeah. At the same time, you have people from like 343 who actually communicate with the community.
Yeah, I see what you're saying.
Like without 343 or Bungie, even like you wouldn't know who Marty O'Donnell was.
That's very true. He would just be some guy that
invented the
did
microwave.
some music. What?
Some guy that invented the microwave, Marty O'Donnell.
Is that the name of the guy who invented the microwave?
No, but the guy who does all the music claims he did.
Oh. Someone should tell him toaster ovens are better.
Yeah.
They're for separate purposes.
You can use a toaster oven for almost
We're not
everything.
getting microwaves.
Why can't you
use
have
a toaster oven for almost everything?
That is a toaster oven.
That a microwave does.
Why can't you have something that microwaves it and like steams it as it broils it and cooks it down and makes it toasty and awesome, so it cooks really fucking fast but it still tastes good?
It's called preheating your toaster oven.
Shh.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
yeah.
If you you could microwave a roast and it would taste awful, but it would cook really quick. Or you could slow cook a roast and I don't know.
I see what you're saying.
I mean, try putting a roast in a toaster oven and see what happens.
I would
I
if
see
I
what
had
you're
a toaster
saying.
oven, but I don't.
You want something that has the
combined hybrid power
heat
of everything.
Conductors of a toaster oven with the cooking speed of a microwave.
Yes.
So basically you want
fission your food.
You basically want to take a small metal and plastic box and make sparks and fire shoot everywhere. That's what I'm hearing. Because you can't have the microwave would set
some
that
metals
stuff
are
off.
safe.
I don't know if those can conduct the heat for the toaster oven though. The toaster oven-y bits.
I used to work at a Taco Bell KFC, and we had a microwave that was made out of metal. Like the inside was metal, and
oh yeah, that's how all fast food microwaves are.
We put metal things in it. It didn't matter, but it was a fucking microwave. Like, we would put aluminum foil pans full of, like, mac and cheese in it, and that was, like, our oven.
It's a good thing you specifically mentioned Taco Bell KFC, as that would have been a bit weird with just Taco Bell.
Yeah, I mentioned the KFC
you call it taco
part.
Chicken. Or Kentucky Fried Tacos. It had a bunch of nicknames.
I always did.
I called it Taco Chicken.
Yeah, it was awful.
You know what we should have called it, but we're stupid? Cluck and Bell.
God damn it!
Yeah. Yeah.
We're fucking stupid.
We really are.
You fucked up.
We done fucked up.
Done goofed.
We had a Cluck and Bell, and we never called it that. Well, I still have one.
Yeah.
Never had one here. Instead, we had Taco Bell, Pizza Huts.
Yeah, I was gonna say there's a couple of Pizza Huts as well, but we never had those.
I think in a nearby town there is a Pizza Hut, Taco Bell, KFC.
Like, I never understood the point. Taco Bell, KFC, I can. Some people want tacos. Well, I don't want a taco. Fine, fuck it, have chicken. Who's gonna order a pizza and sit there and wait for their pizza to be cooked while, like, their friends are, like, already done with their 7 burritos 10 minutes ago?
Yeah.
Here's what you do. You order a large cheese pizza.
Yeah, you do.
You order, and then shortly afterwards, you order popcorn chicken and a bunch of nacho cheese, and then you put all that shit on your pizza, and then you eat the fuck out of it.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Epic Mealtime did that as, like, their very first
Way to
video
ruin it.
before they actually knew how to cook and, like, got their mothers in the background to help them learn how to cook.
I thought they were all in, I thought not all of them, but I thought a couple of them were actually in culinary school.
They might be, but if you look at the earlier videos, there's, like, old ladies in the background. Like, Ma, get off the camera!
Mock it off the camera, we're trying to be cool on the internet.
See my glasses?
There's a clickbaity title.
Speaking of Taco Bell's combined stuff, I think we also had Taco Bell Long John Silver's here, which was weird.
Oh, that sounds awesome.
You'd go in expecting to
can
smell
get
the amazing
good
tacos,
chicken
but then you
and
just smell
good
fish.
At some point, I got so excited I muted myself.
Sounds pretty excited.
I was pretty excited. I was talking about Epic Mealtime's first episode. They didn't cook anything. They just got a giant pizza, and they put, like, Big Macs on it and chicken nuggets, and, like, that was their epic meal. And then they just had a pizza covered in hamburgers.
That sounds pretty lame, honestly.
It was pretty lame, honestly. And then somehow it turned into
Didn't they,
bacon
like-
strips.
Didn't they at least, like, cover it in cheese after they did that?
I think so.
And
I
then
think
recook it?
they went to, like, I don't even remember. I might be merging more than one episode. I remember an episode where they ordered a large soda, but it was Big Mac sauce.
Yes, I remember that as well. I also remember an episode where they did they roasted a pig.
Yeah, like
but
the turducken
before
thing.
before they did it, they had pigs in a blanket stuffed into the pig, put the pig on this little platform shaped like a bed that they built, and roasted it with a sheet of dough over it. So it was a pig in a blanket filled with pigs in a blanket.
I feel
You put
like
pigs in blankets.
It was fantastic. It's probably the best thing they've ever done.
I feel like they
just
stole
for
that
the
out of an old
aesthetic
recipe
value.
book.
Maybe.
If let me see if I can find it. My grandmother had a really old recipe book that I used to read for fun because shut up. And
I like recipe books.
there was a recipe in it. I swear I've always wanted to make it, and it was the first thing I thought of when I saw Epic Mealtime, and that sounds exactly like it. The recipe, if I'm not mistaken, was one whole. Actually, I found one, and I'm pretty sure this is the same one. Servings 100. So it serves 100 people. The recipe
just us.
is, or just us, one whole camel, medium size, stuffed with
Camel.
one whole lamb, large size, stuffed with 20 whole chickens, medium sized. And then you end up stuffing that with like 60 eggs, 12 kilograms of rice, 110 gallons of water, 5 pounds of black pepper. Like, it is just this massive, like, it like the little Russian dolls where there's one inside of another.
Yeah.
Only a camel, a lamb, some turkeys, some chickens, some ducks, like everything all the way down until like you stuff the chickens with like stuffing and rice, and it's just completely insane. And I feel like that was like the epic mealtime of the 1600s. Like it had to have been.
Yeah, it sounds like it. I where was that recipe from? Because I mean, maybe it's just me, but I've not been to my market lately and found whole camel
I don't
stuff
know. I don't know.
with, let alone the lamb.
I don't know how you're supposed to cook that either. It says boil until tender. Like
You have to boil it
you have to boil the camel in 110 gallons of water.
in a bathtub. No, a bathtub wouldn't be big enough. You'd have to boil it in a fucking pool.
Just get a paint can.
Like, you would need a pot the size of a kiddie pool. Like a large kiddie pool.
It says stuff cooked chickens with hard-boiled eggs and rice. Stuffed the cooked lamb with stuffed chickens. Add more rice. Stuff the camel with a stuffed lamb and add rest of rice. Like,
How many pounds of rice is that?
2.
12 kilograms. 12 kilos of rice.
Oh.
And if we convert that to freedom units, that is
26 pounds.
26.45 pounds.
26.4554715.
Yeah.
Before it gets filled with boiled
110
water.
gallons of water. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Man, Jennifer would love that.
Except get rid of everything but the rice.
As long as she enjoys her rice.
You know she will.
So, did
That's
either
hard
of
to
you... Sorry, did either of you hear about the new Conan Universe game that's coming out?
I did not.
Again,
That
O'Brien.
sounds-
Conan the Barbarian.
play
I'm
that.
assuming.
I would absolutely play Conan O'Brien game.
Honestly, I would too. I'm sure it'll be modded. I'm almost certain it'll be modded. But it's an open world Conan Universe survival game that's going to be released on the PC in early access in January, and in the spring it's going to come to the Xbox for early access. And it's basically Arc Combat Evolved in the Conan universe and good. Like, there's some gameplay trailers up. It looks pretty bitchin'.
That does sound pretty interesting. I've watched both of the original Conan movies and I loved them. I've actually read only a couple of Conan the Barbarian comic books, but they were pretty interesting. And I've also seen the new Conan movie with Aquaman as Conan, and that was pretty great. Slash Khal Drogo.
I need to watch that.
I liked it. Ron Perlman is in it too, but no one talks about that.
Yeah.
Because everyone's super obsessed with Khal Drogo. Because Game of Thrones.
Mm-hmm.
Or because Khal Drogo.
Or because
Or
not
because
Ron
Khal
Perlman.
Drogo. Hey! I like Ron Perlman. He's a decent actor. He should get royalties.
Only a little bit, though.
Only a little bit, let's not get crazy.
If it wasn't for him, no one would have seen Hellboy.
It's true.
I'm not gonna lie, I've never seen Hellboy.
Neither have I.
What? You guys need to watch the first one just to go see the second one.
I've started watching either of them. I don't remember because I don't really care at all. And I didn't. No.
I'm pretty sure back when I had a million channels on cable and cable was still a thing, I watched like 5 minutes of it, only long enough
No.
to flip through channels and see that Tank Girl was on, and I watched that instead.
Okay, I can't blame you on that. Tank Girl is fantastic. I hadn't ever seen it until like the year before last, but I fucking love that movie.
Yeah,
I have no idea what age group that movie was meant for,
It wasn't.
but I love it. It wasn't. I don't think it was made for anyone, probably.
Someone just had way too much cocaine and decided that it would be a good idea.
Sounds about right.
They're basically like, remember that Tank Girl thing? Let's do that.
And then the other person was like, no, I've had way too much cocaine. And then the other guy was like, we've got a movie.
Yeah, pretty much.
So basically, the entire creation of yoga hosers, but with cocaine instead of weed.
Let's get whoever came up with Harley Quinn together in a room with the creators of the third Ninja Turtle movie, and let's make a movie.
So Kevin Smith?
After giving them both a bunch of cocaine. And then that's what happened. That's the best way to describe Tank Girl.
I feel like you could throw a little bit of Deadpool in there too somewhere.
Maybe.
But just
a little bit.
A little bit of lesbian Deadpool.
Yeah.
So Lady Deadpool.
Yeah.
Or even regular Deadpool.
If you're not familiar with with Tank Girl, Rick, the movie,
you should see it.
she's played by the chick who plays Lolly in Orange is the New Black.
Ooh.
Only it was made in like 1995, so she's young.
It's enough for me to see it.
And she's basically looks like Harley Quinn from Suicide Squad movie.
Yeah.
She was in Gotham, and she was fucking amazing in Gotham. She was a better Harley Quinn than Harley Quinn.
Do you have any idea how hard it is to masturbate in this thing?
It's not hard
My
at all.
favorite line from the movie. It's the best line in that movie.
I mentioned Yoga Hosers there. I need to say that Yoga Hosers is both the worst and best movie of all time.
I've never even heard of it. But it
It's-
sounds terrible.
It's
I feel
Kevin
like
enough
Smith.
for me to watch
discussed
it.
like at length.
Yeah, we probably all have. It's Kevin Smith's newest movie. It has his daughter Harley Quinn in it, and Johnny Depp and Johnny Depp's daughter, Lily Rose.
Speaking of discussing things at length, how long have we been going on now?
Like an hour. It's fine.
Not long enough.
Oh, okay.
But anyways, the most important thing about Yoga Hosers is that Kevin Conroy is in it, who voices Batman and fucking everything, and he has a young boy with him named Robin.
Of course he does. Is he using his Batman voice?
I mean, his Batman voice is his voice.
Oh.
That's just how he sounds.
Oh. For some reason, I never knew that.
It has a bunch of people in it. Like Nikki from Orange is the New Black. Stan Lee makes a cameo.
The cast of Orange is the New Black is in a lot of stuff, apparently.
That's because they're all awesome.
They really are.
Ah, I need to watch that still, apparently.
You really do.
We all need to watch it. Again.
I mean, I would watch that show all day, every day.
Yeah, me too. They even specifically mention Orange is the New Black in Yoga Horses. And another thing that's great about that movie is that it takes place in Canada, so they all say oot in a boot. Like, super exaggerated.
Nope, that's it. You're done.
No.
Nope.
And there's a part where
you're done.
Johnny Depp's
Nope.
daughter
Nope,
is
you're done.
speaking in
Nope.
French,
Nope.
and it has subtitles, and the subtitles still say oot in a boot.
I'm sold.
Does this tie in with any of his other movies?
Yes. Kind of. A little bit.
Is it in the Moose
Only
Jaws
chasing
universe?
Amy.
What'd you say?
He said only chasing Amy.
I'm joking.
I liked that movie. And I said, is it in the Moose Jaws universe?
Maybe. That sounds familiar.
Moose Jaws is, I think it's the next one he's making. It's Jaws, but with a moose.
I think it does, yes. At the end of the movie, at the very end of the credits, you know how in Civil War it says Spider-Man will return? It does
Sure.
that, but it says the Colleens will return in Moose Jaws. I think... I don't remember what I was going to say. No one cares.